Good morning. I'm Janie Parrish with the Wadsworth Area Chamber of Commerce, and it's with great sadness today that I'm talking with Johanna Perrino. Hello, Johanna.
Hello, Janie.
And the reason that I'm having a hard time with this and not very happy about it is Johanna has been with WCTV for 33 years and is retiring August 1st.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
I'm just having a hard time with the whole concept, but knowing Johanna as well as I do, there's just no way that you'll disappear.
Not at all. I will still be very connected to WCTV, so no
Always.
worries.
Okay.
And the chamber.
And the chamber,
Yes.
thank goodness.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we'll start at the beginning of your career. In fact, for people who really want to go into television and studios and things like that, tell us your journey, like your education, things like that.
So I grew up, most people think I'm a Wadsworth native because I've been here so long, but I actually grew up in Akron, kind of near Talmadge, Chapel Hill Mall area. And I attended Christ the King Elementary School, which is not there anymore, but there were only less than 100 kids, K through 8. So very small neighborhood school. Attended St. Vincent St. Mary High School, graduated in 1983, attended the University of Akron, got my bachelor's in television production communications. And that's a story in itself because when I was going to attend college, my dad was helping me fill out all the paperwork. Well, what do you want your major to be? And he said, I think you should go into computer science. And I said, all right. That's when computers were just coming out. I love math. I was, less creative back then than I thought I actually would become. I was more of a math and science kind of person. So I said, okay, my dad says computer science, I'll do computer science. So I did the first 2 years, took all the math classes, calculus, all the hard classes. And then I got to the point where I was able to pick my electives. And I've always loved, I could watch TV all day long. Always from a kid, I could get up and just sit on the couch and watch TV, any show, it didn't matter. I looked at it differently. Even back then, I feel like I looked at the production quality and how they recorded things and how the camera angles and stuff and didn't even know I was looking at it that way. So anyways, one of my electives was a TV and movie appreciation class. And in that class was in the communications department. And I got to know people that were in that communications major. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Your major is in television? Like you're going to get paid to make television? I'm sold. So I remember went home and told my dad, I'm switching majors. I'm going to get a communications degree in television production. That's what I'm going to do. So that's what I did. And I just fell in love with it. Everything about it. Cameras, editing, everything. And so that's how I switched majors.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I know when you're going to college, you think, why do I have to take these extra courses? And boy, you really find out a passion that you have.
You do. And I feel like I tried everything. I took, lots of electives, but that one just stuck. And so I was fortunate to get an internship my last semester at Channel 23, which was the ABC, WAKC, TV 23, the ABC affiliate in Akron.
Okay.
So I worked in news and master control. And master control, for those of you who don't know, is where you are manually putting commercials in between shows. So a person is literally sitting at the control board, and when the black comes in the middle of a show, you hit play and the commercial would run in. So my first shift, my first job out of college, then they hired me after I graduated, was midnight to 8 a.m. on Friday and Saturday night.
Oh, my
Quite the
gosh.
social life killer for a 22-year-old.
Right.
But I took it, and that's what I did overnight is run the commercials. And then very quickly, I got into editing the news and doing graphics and audio for the newscast. So moved very quickly, but did that for about 6 months.
Holy smokes.
So, but I learned a lot at Channel 23 because it was a small station. Like us, they didn't rely on volunteers, but a lot on interns. And so when you were there, you got to work. Like a lot of people that I went to college with, they might have interned at one of the Cleveland stations, but they were getting coffee. They were running tapes from room to room. They weren't actually producing newscasts like we were. And so I learned a lot from there. Yes.
Boy, that's wonderful. Yeah. That you can walk away from a job and say, I learned a lot.
A lot, yes.
Yes.
And I still, even after I was hired here at WCTV, I still worked there for a short time and did the 11 o'clock news to help them out. So, yeah.
Very nice.
Yes,
so
I'm still very in touch with all those people that worked on that newscast as well.
Of course you are. Yes, that's you. Yes. So you were there 6 months. Then where did you go?
No, I was at Channel 23 from 1987 to 92, so 5 years. I was only on that overnight shift for about 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was there about 5 years. And also, in the meantime, I worked at Time Warner, which back then was Warner Cable. Started out as a telemarketer, very quickly promoted to sales trainer. So I was training all the direct sales and the telemarketers just in sales. And that's really where I learned my customer service skills. And so that was a very valuable job. I started there right when I started college, worked there all through college again until I was hired here at WCTV in 1992.
How did you find out about this job?
Oh, interesting. My brother-in-law is Campbell Construction, so they had just launched or opened a Wadsworth office in One Park Center, and he happened to get the what was it back then? The Sun Banner newspaper at the time when the city was taking over the television studio, because in 1983 when it started, it was actually owned and operated by Warner Cable, which is now Spectrum. So as part of the refranchise agreement, the city wanted to take over the studio because Time Warner didn't do a lot of local programming, didn't do a lot with it. So they said, we'll take over the studio, we'll staff it, we'll put the equipment in, but you turn it over to us. So when that happened, then the city was hiring for a executive director and a facilitator trainer, which was my first title when I was hired here.
Okay. Now, how many titles have you had?
Not only two.
Only two?
Yes, only two.
Oh my!
So I was facilitator trainer, and then, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, they changed it to operations and community relations coordinator, and that's what I've been ever since.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing! Now,
even though my duties have changed.
Oh, sure.
Yes, but still the same title.
I remember, speaking of the Blue Tip Parade, which I'm still recovering, so that's why we weren't really speaking about it. But I remember you telling me about you coming in for the interview.
My first day of work was June 1st.
Okay.
And so within the next 2 weeks, I remember coming in on a Monday morning, I said, and I had asked John Madding, who was the manager at the time, does Wadsworth have like a big yard sale or what's going on? Because there's chairs and blankets all over the street. And then that was my first experience with the Blue Tip Parade.
Oh my gosh, 33 years ago. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so tell us about WCTV right now. How many employees do you have in here in the studio?
We have 2 full-time employees, myself, John Bernard, who's had been here since 1998.
Okay.
Aiden Uzinski, who's in the control room right now directing this show, Abe Haprian, and Jared Evangelist. And Abe, Aiden, and Jared are part-time.
Okay.
So.
Now, one of the things that just amazes me about there's so many things you do that's amazing. But for football games, you're out in that press box. Is that what it is? It's up on at the stadium?
Are you talking about me?
You.
So our whole crew goes out there.
Okay.
I have the last couple years since we were down some staff. I was running camera for football, and yes, not in the press box, but on top of it. So we have 2 cameras up on top of the press box, and so yes, that's what I've been doing. And honestly, I absolutely love it. I mean, production is why I got into this industry. The last couple years, my job has kind of become more administrative than production. But so I really miss that. And I have had a blast. Not so much when it's, 30 degrees and snowing
Sure.
and raining in my face. But,
Yeah.
but our football crew is just outstanding. They go down there early in the day. They set all that up. Our van is parked underneath the bleachers. I mean, we have instant replay. Our announcers do an amazing job. So it's definitely one of our most watched programs. I mean, we have thousands of people that watch every game. We do them live now on YouTube. And even the other schools that we're playing know that when they play Wadsworth, they're going to get a great broadcast.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, because a lot of schools now are just using those like huddle cameras that are just kind of one camera that are following the action. No announcers, no graphics, no scores, no instant replays.
Oh, okay.
So ours is just amazing, and our staff does a great job.
Now, how many shows do you produce each year?
Well, we bring in, take in about 1,800 shows a year.
Oh,
So
my
new
gosh.
shows locally produced. They aren't all produced here in the studio, but
Okay.
we have some connection to the production. Either they've used our equipment or like the churches, a lot of them, we have helped them get their technology set up so that they can record their own services. Then they send us the file. Before COVID, we were doing 5 or 6 shows in this studio a day.
Wow.
Yes. So we had a lot. But when COVID hit, we kind of introduced people to Zoom and other ways that they could do their shows from home with their phones or iPads or whatever. So a lot of people still do it that way, and then they just send us the file. But we are still a great outlet for people to get their messages, their video content, nonprofit organizations, or just community members. We had last year 105 unique producers, community creators that produce shows for us. So we have a lot of engagement. For a small community, we have a lot of engagement with WCTV.
I got to tell you, the city is probably so proud of you. I've heard Mayor Robin talk about, because there's so few communities who have anything like this.
Right. I think Wadsworth doesn't realize, they may take it for granted, like every city produces their city meetings like we do and their high school sports like we do. And now we don't just do football. We do basketball, girls and boys. We do wrestling. We recruit parents to do lacrosse, volleyball, soccer. So they use our equipment. We train them. They take it for the season. Some of them do announcing. I mean, it's just a well-oiled machine, and we are so glad that we can cover all those sports. I mean, we get the best responses or comments are from like grandparents that maybe can't go and see their grandkids play, and they're just so grateful that they can just watch us on WCTV. The concerts too, the school concerts.
Everything.
We have such a good relationship with the school, and we do the concerts, and we help their media communications class with those, the graduation, the baccalaureate, the promenade. I mean,
You were down at the Blue Tip Parade.
We did the Blue Tip Parade live this year, and we've produced the Blue Tip Parade. I mean, even when Time Warner owned it, they did the Blue Tip Parade because that's the biggest thing of the year in Wadsworth.
That's true.
So we have about 50 years worth of Blue Tip Parade videos in our archives.
Oh my gosh! The other day at Lions Club, Bob Parmalee brought one in. It was. He had it on the computer. So, but anyways, I can't remember what year it was from, but it was pretty old. Yeah, and it was just so nice to see because you could see the buildings and how they had changed in the landscape of downtown.
So all of those are available on our YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and search Watch WCTV and look for Blue Tip Parades, all of those are there. So along with thousands of other priceless historical videos.
And speaking of priceless, you gave me a copy of an interview that Dr. Perrino did with my dad, and it's so nice to hear his voice, and see him, but just to hear his voice again. And so how wonderful that what a great service to the community.
Yeah, so Cesar Carino did over 400 Wadsworth History on Film shows. And the reason he started to do that was he wanted to interview these people, and he started with the people that were like 100 and went down, you know, younger and younger. And this started probably in the mid-90s, and he would come in and do 3 or 4 hour, 1 hour shows a day. And we did that for a long time. He just wanted to make sure he got everyone's stories recorded because they were going to eventually write a book.
Okay.
And I think they were talking about doing it for the bicentennial, which was in 2014. But anyways, we are lucky enough to have those 400 plus shows in our archives. So if anyone thinks their grandparent, aunt, uncle, mom, dad, whatever might have been interviewed, just give us a call and we will search for it, and we can supply those videos to anybody. But yeah.
Now, is there a fee for that?
There is not, no. And we can even email. Those are, public records, those files. So we can certainly either email the copy to them. They can come in and with a USB flash drive, and we can put it on there. Some of them, if they were older and not in HD, we can put them on a DVD. So, yeah.
Boy, that's wonderful, because I know a lot of times when I'm missing my dad, I will, well, just to hear his voice is amazing. So God love Dr. Carino for doing that.
I definitely miss him. He was one of our biggest supporters.
Yes,
And when I was
absolutely.
first hired, people thought I was his daughter.
Oh.
Carino. So he was one of the first people that came to WCTV when I was hired. He walked in, and I had known him because he had taught one of my classes at Akron U, but he didn't really know me at the time. I was just one of his students. But I remember him walking in the door, and he says, "I must come in and see this young woman that everyone thinks is my daughter."
Oh, how sweet is that?
Yeah, we've been close friends, and he actually wrote my letter of recommendation for me to get into grad school when I got my MBA. So, and he had just become mayor.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, one of the things that you do so many things, but one of the things that I wanted to ask you about is every year you planned the awards called the Clapper Awards. Okay, so tell us about the Clapper Awards.
So the WCTV Clapper Awards were designed to recognize the best producers on WCTV over the past year. So 1991 was the first year they had it. So 1 year before I came.
Oh, okay.
So there was another person in my position for 1 year after the city took over.
Okay.
So in 1991, and then I was hired in 92. So ever since, we've been doing it. So it started off with about 6 categories. This past year, 2024, I think we had 14 or 16 categories. And it is just one of my favorite things I do in my job. And I literally go through every show, put them in categories. We accept nominations from the public and from producers, put them on a ballot. It's sent out for the community. Actually, anyone in the world can vote because our programming is available anywhere in the world. So we have that voting, and then we have all the nominees judged by a panel of media professionals that are people I know from the years that I've worked with in the media industry. And then we have a big celebration, a big awards banquet last year we had at Mosaic. And
it's wonderful.
It's so fun, and we have a nice dinner for everybody, and it's really just our chance to show our appreciation for all the producers that really work hard. No one is paid except our staff. The producers are all volunteers. And, we have people like Polka Time that have been coming in every Monday to produce their show, are not getting paid for over 30 years. They've done almost 1,600 shows.
Oh, my gosh. Now, another thing I wanted to ask you about was I know you have been extremely instrumental in implementing the Wadsworth Community Television Foundation.
The WCTV Foundation.
WCTV Foundation.
Yeah, so that was one of my bucket list things that I wanted to do before I retired. Just because, a lot of organizations have the Friends of, like the Friends of the Library or the Wadsworth Older Adults Foundation or the parks.
Yep.
And I thought, well, why can't we have something like that? Sometimes there's things, we're a city department, we're fully funded, we're not going anywhere. But sometimes there's something that isn't going to be approved in a city budget, or it's just something extra that we want to do, or we want to do something for our volunteers, we need to have a foundation that can help with that. So started that in 2021. And so basically we're like a fundraising organization. And so Roger Polk has been outstanding helping with fundraising. He really is I told him he missed his calling. He should be like a carny because he can sell those tickets like that. But so we have raised over $20,000. Take that back. Over $20,000 with that 40 times $500 raffle that we're doing. Every time we sell 100 tickets, we give away a $500 winner. So kind of like a 50-50. So we've given away $10,000 already. But as part of the foundation, we can also apply for grants, which is something that we weren't really able to do before. This podcast set that we're sitting on is a result of a grant that was given to us by the Blue Tip Festival Committee and partly also funded by the WCTV Foundation. So this is just one of the projects that...
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm glad that was on your bucket list and that you
Yes.
made it happen.
Yes. And I have to say, my board is amazing. Roger Wright, Roger Polk, Tori McCauley, Klain, her last name, she just got married. Jenny Young, Catherine Miracle, Brandon Davis, and Julia Foster is our newest board member. So,
Very nice.
Yes. We just have a really good time. And we just want to, like I said, just for the little extra things that WCTV might want or need. Right. And so I will still be very connected to that even after I retire.
Oh, sure. Now, one of the things that you are so well known for is your community involvement. And I know that with the Chamber of Commerce, you are the longest serving board member ever.
Yes, ma'am.
Ever. Because normally you can serve 3 years and then 3 years, and then you have to take a break.
Correct.
So you did that once, then you came back for 3 years and 3 years. So now you're up to 12 years.
Yes.
Yes.
And then I took a year off.
And then you took a year.
And then Janie said,
hey, I need you to come back. Yeah, but you've taken over a fundraising and have chaired that ever since you've been on.
I think I have, yes.
Yes, and so
I think this is going on my 14th year, I think. But honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. You know, small business is like near and dear to my heart.
Yes.
I think I wish I would have been an entrepreneur some days. I just love everything about it, and I appreciate everything about small businesses because they really are, they're putting everything at risk to make that business succeed. And I just hope and try. I'm very involved with Main Street too, just between those two organizations to really do everything we can to advocate and support those small businesses that make up our community and especially our downtown.
Yeah.
Because the downtown is really the heart of the city. So
yes, and really how far that Wadsworth has came.
Yes.
I think about that every once in a while. Something will come up and I'll think, well, that wasn't here when I got here, you know, or we weren't doing that, or there wasn't a splash pad, there wasn't a Memorial Park update. You know, now they're working on the brickyard for, you know, future use, and then also the downtown infrastructure program, and and you think about the north end, and it's really changed a lot.
Oh, for sure.
And especially for you seeing it for 33 years.
I remember driving here for my interview in 1992 and thinking, there's horses on the corner. I think a peacock or a turkey just ran out in front of my car on Hartman Road. I thought, where am I going? There is no way there's a TV station out here in the boonies.
You thought everybody wore bonnets out here.
But sure enough, there was a TV station, and I just fell in love with the community.
Oh, I'm so glad. And you moved here.
I did. I moved here 10 years ago. I wish I had moved here sooner, But it was the perfect time, and I'm not going anywhere. So
Oh, good.
I just love it.
Thank goodness. And then after you retire and get yourself together, as far as your honeymoon phase of retirement, I'm going to start coming over for that bachelor party, that bachelorette.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh,
Sounds
my
good.
gosh. Joanna is so well known for her bachelorette parties.
Now let's clear that up. It's
Yes,
a TV show.
it's the TV
yes,
show.
So I have friends that we have watched it for probably 20 years. And I always have at least a finale party, and I always say open invitation on Monday nights or whatever night the show is on. Come over. I have food. I have drinks. We watch it together, and we just crack up.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it's legendary.
It is.
There
Yes.
you go.
Yes.
Well, Joanne, I'm going to let you go because I know we've been talking a long time, but I can't even begin to thank you for all you've done for Wadsworth, especially the Chamber of Commerce, because that one's near and dear to my heart. But we are going to miss you immensely, but you so well deserve this. And, not only that, but I know you'll continue with your real estate business.
Yes.
And your Mary Kay business. Yes. And so I know you're going to keep busy because that would not be you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes. It's just a new chapter. I said retirement does not mean I stop working. It's just going to be something new.
Yeah, when I get to retire, I'm going to stop working. I just want you
I
to
find
know.
that hard to believe.
I know.
You're such a fireball. I know you're never
it.
going to stop.
Aw. Well, thank you for everything.
Thank
and
you.
you
It's-
are a true treasure.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Okay.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.